What's up, family? How you doing? My name is Joe and I am one half of Two Crazy Ketos. You know, I think one of the easiest, most inexpensive meal preps to make on the keto diet is hamburgers. Ground beef is super inexpensive and hamburgers are super quick to make. It's great when you get home and you have some pre-made hamburger patties either in the refrigerator or in the freezer, and all you have to do is either throw them in a pan, throw them in the oven, or fire up the grill and throw them on there. The problem is we live such busy lives, a lot of times we resort to something like these Bubba burgers. The problem with these things is, first, they're really expensive, and second, a lot of times these pre-made hamburgers, they're loaded with all kinds of extra ingredients and they're not even 100% ground beef. Well, today I'm gonna show you exactly how I pre-make my hamburgers for meal prepping and how they come out perfect every single time. And we'll get into it right after this. So if you're new to our channel, welcome. Like I said, my name is Joe and I'm one half of Two Crazy Ketos. Now the other half is my wife, Rachel, but Rachel doesn't normally do cooking videos, which is why you have me today. Now here on Two Crazy Ketos, we like to do product reviews. We do recipe videos like we're doing today. We talk about different keto topics, and then once a week we sit down on the couch for a series we call Keto on the Couch, where we just kind of talk about what's going on in our lives for the week. Now we do upload at least 5 new videos every single week, so make sure you're subscribed to our channel and hit that little bell icon so that you are notified every time we upload a new video. Now we also have all kinds of social media. We have Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, as well as a website, which is twocrazyketos.com, and that's where you'll find all of our different recipes. So like I was saying, I think hamburgers are the easiest keto meal prep. I mean, ground beef is super inexpensive, and hamburgers cook super quick. It's great to always have some of those hamburgers in the refrigerator or in the freezer. And the problem is, we're all super busy. I mean, even Rachel and I resort to buying things like these Bubba burgers once in a while. The problem is, these are super expensive. I mean, this box only has 4 half-pound burgers in them, and I think I paid like $11 for this box. I mean, that's $5.50 a pound. I mean, come on, it's not even grass-fed ground beef. You know, and then the problem is, I mean, this happens to be a good brand, but a lot of times they have all kinds of fillers in them. Sometimes they even have carbohydrates in them, and it's just not worth it. Ground beef can always be purchased on a deal. I mean, you can even go to Walmart and get the big logs of ground beef. But a lot of times we'll go and we'll buy a nice bulk package of ground beef and we'll only use a piece of it because, like, say I made a keto lasagna yesterday. Now I've got a bunch of leftover ground beef. So what I'll do is I will pre-make a bunch of hamburgers and I'll either put them in the refrigerator for a couple days and cook them during the week, or I'll go ahead and put them in the freezer in a vacuum sealed bag. So let's go ahead and show you exactly how I make our hamburgers. So like I was saying, we get great deals on ground beef all the time. The other day I was over at Penn Dutch and they were selling 80/20 ground beef for just $1.99 a pound. So I bought a really big package of it. I used half of it to make a keto lasagna meal prep for the week, and I have about 2 pounds left over. So that's what we're gonna use for today's hamburgers. Now to make these hamburgers, you only need a few ingredients. Obviously, the first thing we're gonna need is some ground beef. After that, we need some Italian seasoning blend. This is a Mediterranean blend. If you don't have this, that's fine. You can just use some basil and oregano. We need some Redmond real salt, and if you don't have this, you can just use pink salt. I'm gonna use some ground pepper. I'm gonna use some onion powder. I'm using granulated garlic. Now, if you don't have granulated garlic, that's fine, you can use garlic powder. But when it comes to meatballs, meatloaves, and hamburgers, I just really prefer granulated garlic. I think it mixes better when you're making the burgers. And then the last thing we're gonna need is some Parmesan cheese. Now, this recipe is super easy. For every pound of ground beef, you're gonna use 1 teaspoon of each one of your spices and 1 tablespoon of your Parmesan cheese. So let's get started. So I'm just gonna take my ground beef, I'm gonna put it in my bowl, and I've already got all of my spices pre-measured just to make this video a little bit shorter. I'm just gonna go ahead and dump them in. And now what you're gonna do is I'm just gonna use our hands. The best way to mix this is with your hands. So make sure your hands are washed and just go ahead and give it a good mix. Now here's the thing. The key to making hamburgers, to making a meatloaf, anything where you're dealing with the ground beef, is you don't want to overwork the meat. If you overwork the meat, it's gonna not be as tender when you're cooking them. So just get a good mix, but don't overwork the meat. All you want to do is make sure all of your spices and those cheeses get a good blend in the hamburgers. Okay, I think that's good. Everything seems to be blended well and we haven't overworked the meat too much. So now that we have all the spices mixed in the meat, we can go ahead and start making the hamburger patties. Now to do this, you're gonna need two things. Number one, you need a scale. And I know you're thinking, why do I need a scale? Well, here's the thing. If you're doing a keto meal prep for hamburgers, you want all the hamburgers to be the same. You wanna be able to put them in the freezer or put them in the refrigerator, and when you pull one out, you know exactly what to put into your macro calculator. The other thing you need is a hamburger press. And I know you're probably laughing already, like, why do I need a hamburger press? I know how to make a patty. These things are a lifesaver because you're already going to have every patty being the same exact weight. So when you use one of these things, it makes a perfect patty every single time. This way, when you go to put it in the pan or you put it on the grill, it gets the perfect cook because it's gonna cook evenly all the way through. They're super inexpensive. I think I got this thing on Amazon for like $8 or $9. I'll leave a link for it down in the description. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take a plate, I'm gonna put it on my scale, I'm gonna zero out the scale, and I'm gonna see how much meat I have with all my spices. So this comes out to be, it's 33.6 ounces. So we're gonna make a bunch of 5-ounce burgers and then see where we go from there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna take this back off of my scale, make sure it's all zeroed out, and I'm gonna start just making like 5-ounce balls. We'll start off, that one right there, 5.4 ounces. So we'll grab another plate and I'll just try to make them all 5.4 ounces and see where I end up with at the end. Okay, so I've got I've got 6 burgers. I've got this left over, so we'll just kind of take this, stick it into there, and they're pretty much all gonna be about the same, I think, at this point. We're gonna just double check them. 5.5, 5.6, 5.6, 5.6, 5.6. Wow, I did pretty good here. 5.6. So we got one at 5.5 and a bunch of them at 5.6. Okay, so now we can start making our hamburger patties. All we're gonna do is we're gonna take our press. This is what it looks like. Makes it super easy. The first burger, I just spray with a little bit of coconut oil. That helps the burgers to not stick in there. I'm just gonna take one patty, put it right in the middle, press down, pop it out. And look at that. Perfect burger every single time. Now when I bought this press, it came with a bunch of these little squares or circles. So we're just gonna go ahead and put that on there. Now if you don't have that, that's fine. You can use wax paper, you can use parchment paper, whatever you happen to find. And we're just gonna go ahead and make the rest of them. Okay, so that's the last one. So let's take a look at what we have. Look at that. We have 6 perfect burgers. All of them are the same size, all of them are the same thickness, all of them are the same weight. That's a perfect keto meal prep burger. Now, when you go to put this in your macro calculator, you know exactly what you have. Speaking of macros, each one of these is 390 calories. It's about 30 grams of fat, 26 grams of protein, and even with all the spices and the Parmesan cheese, it's less than 1 carb per burger. The best part is, I paid $2 a pound for this ground beef. That works out to be like 80 cents a burger. With the spices, maybe 85 cents. If you're lucky, we're really around 80 cents. Compare that to buying these. 4 burgers, $11. If you're lucky, I've seen them more than that. And these have no flavor. There's absolutely no seasoning in these. And you have to cook them frozen. Right on the box, it says you have to cook these frozen. With these, if I'm gonna make them in the next couple days, I'm just gonna put them in a Ziploc bag or into a Tupperware, store them in the refrigerator. If it's gonna take me a few days, I'll put them into the freezer because when you have this parchment paper or the wax paper, whatever you use in between, it's super easy to separate. You can take them out, it doesn't take long to defrost, or you can even cook them frozen. So that is our video for today. Hopefully I've helped you out. Hopefully I've showed you a great way to take some of that extra ground beef you have and make some keto meal prep burgers with it. If you like what you saw, do us a favor, hit the like button down below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel and make sure you hit the bell icon so that you're notified when we upload a new video. Make sure you check out all of our social media on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. And the recipe for these burgers will be on our website, and there'll be a link for that down below. Now that I have these burgers, I think I'm gonna go fire up the grill and cook some tonight. So till next time, bye.